y'all motherfuckers watch too much Twilight, man. You know? And all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem did Hosea put away, that he might perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. And like unto him was there no king before him, that turned to the Lord with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any like him. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. And the Lord said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I have said, my name shall be there.
So do you see how important witchcraft and like soothsaying is?
Oh, you're right. She's concubine. No, she wants to get down.
Oh, she wants to be in chains.
She's begging not to go.
Once you go black, you never go back.
Well, that's good.
Fucking wheelchair.
That's all Yehudi. Anyhow.
2 Kings chapter 22 verse 8. And Hilkiah the high priest said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king, and brought the king word again, and said, Thy servants have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it into the hand of them that do the work, that have the oversight of the house of the Lord. And Shaphan the scribe shewed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest had delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it.
We can even analogy this with like today's modern times, how the brothers have fallen into this truth, or the Most High has woken up our eyes to come to the truth. We've seen our elders have woken, has helped the Most High woken up, has given us knowledge. You know, and when I say elders, I mean GMS, Great Millstone. So it's a lot like this now. Back then, how people were wicked, because right now we're cursing on Halloween, but back in the world, we would have been right in there. We would have been in the clubs with these fucking, maybe not dressing up, but with these people carrying on. We would be apart them, you know, amongst them. We wouldn't be cussing them out, say, don't be near me, get out of here, abhorring them. Yeah. What happened?
And Shaphan the scribe shewed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest had delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the book of the law, that he rent his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Akbor the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asahiah the servant of the king, saying, Go ye, inquire of the Lord for me, for the people, and for all Judah, concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book, to do according unto all that which is written concerning us.
So when we don't do what's in the book, we get punished, chastised. We ultimately got thrown out of the land of Israel, because we're dealing with necromancers, soothsayers, idols, worshiping other gods. And we're in the predicament that we're in today because of things like this.
Yeah, I just want to bring this out. This is called Fossilized Customs by Lew White. Alright. And this is page 47. Alright. It says, life for a pagan under the Druids, which the Druids, they're mainly Israelites. You had the Druidic priests, which were like Levi. You know?
Hey brother, can we just show this occult symbol for TNA? Because that's an occult symbol, eh? Yeah. I think it goes back to the Vesica Pisces, man.
Well, it goes back to that Trinity thing. The Trinity, Semiramis, Nimrod, and Tammuz. You know? Life for a
It's like
pagan.
Mercedes.
Life for a pagan under the Druids was like a nightmare. Parents had to endure risking their children's lives because the Druids demanded sacrifices. Children were made to stand in a large circle with marker stones with a tall oak pole at the center. At sunrise, the shadow of the pole would fall upon a single child. This child was tied up and burned alive on a bonfire.
That's fucking horrible.
And the charred bones were buried under the stone marker. The roots of this festival come to us from Druid demon worship. Witches were said to fly brooms over the crops to teach them how to grow. It was a fertility myth. The ritual we embrace as Halloween was originally called the Feast of the Dead. Gifts, especially food, were left outside for these Roman ghosts. With the hope that no harm would come to the household, the Druids chose certain children to be burned alive on bonfires as offerings to the sun. Parents tied yellow ribbons around the oak trees as prayers to the sun to have their children spared. The fat left over from the child was fashioned into a candle and placed...
And you want to know something? When I was a little kid, I actually remember them tying stuff around trees. I never knew why they did it, but I remember them tying stuff around trees, little yellow ribbons. And now those yellow ribbons have been replaced with what? Those little yellow caution, says danger. Like, you know, when people dress their houses up, they tie that yellow, that red plastic ribbon around their trees, around their properties, around their houses.
And also, where I live, like a month before Halloween, they had blue ribbons on every tree in my city. And I wonder what the hell's that all about, you know? It doesn't have to be a specific color. It just shows you that that's where the fucking people will be burned.
And a lot of times, like I'm a guy, I like to go for like sometimes nature walks or whatever. You go through you'll go through like the nature walks, and you'll see little red ribbons tied up on trees and stuff like that, with little like offerings on them and stuff like that. And it's like all over the place inside the bushes. That's like people going into the groves, because groves meaning that, like, you know, the trees of forest, and like praying to the little demon gods, man.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
The fat left over from the child was fashioned into a candle and placed into a carved out pumpkin or a hollowed out vegetable with a round sun-shaped design. The victim was called Jack of the Lantern. Prisoners,
and every day, every year, people are. It's a big part of their whole Halloween festivities is to get the pumpkin and carve out their jack-o'-lantern.
that's where you have the fucking fat of the kids, man.
Yeah.
Prisoners and unlike people were burned alive in wicker cages shaped in the form of animals hung from trees. All of this was ultimately to pay homage to the sun Woden or Odin. That was basically. Okay. And I have Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah 8 and 19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their power for the living, to the dead, to the law and to the testimony? If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
2 Kings chapter 21 verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab, king of Israel, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, in Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments.
Thank you. Yo, take them off, Kevin.
And dwelt with familiar spirits and wizards. And he wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger, And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel would I put my name forever.
And remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, right? So Israel is a people before it's a place. So even though we're not in the land of Israel today, we're supposed to live according to this, man. We're not supposed to be amongst these other nations celebrating Halloween, man. Engaging in all their paganism festivals.
They're not supposed to be celebrating in our land anyway.
Exactly,
Guess
because
what
this
they're
is
doing in
not
that
their
land?
land.
Guess
This
what?
is not their land.
Guess what they're doing in the land of Israel right now? They're celebrating that bullshit. I have Acts 19 and 13.
19, 18, and 19.
19, 18, and 19? Should I look at Exorcist?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'll start at 13. Acts 19 and 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua whom Paul preacheth. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man,
Going to show you that not anybody can do this.
and the demons know who you are. You
Exactly.
gotta have, like the elder said, you can't just curse out. Like if someone knows the name Yahushua, you know, curse you out. If they know that name, that doesn't always cast away the demons, because you gotta have authority with that speech, with the name. You can't be just a normal guy saying, you know, in the name of Yahweh Basham, you know, all that stuff. The holy name. You gotta have authority with that name. You know? And there was, and the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them, and overcame them, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks, Israelites, also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them all. And the name of the Lord, Yahushua, was magnified. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many of them also, which used curious arts, brought their books together and burned them before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver.
Okay.
I have another one just to show the power of the demons. This is Mark 5 and 1. And they came over unto the story's in Matthew, but this one goes a little more. And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. You know, they bind him with the chains, and then he'd fucking break apart the chains, man. Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains have been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always day and night he was in the mountains and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stone. But when he seen Yahushua afar off, he ran and worshipped him and cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Yahushua, thou son of the Most High power? And I adjure thee by the Most High.
Let's take an account. So the demon right now, he's just seeing Yahushua and he's running towards Yahushua and he's bowing before him.